Hello everybody, this is Noah. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and review of the DJI Osmo 3, or Osmo Mobile 3. So, if you're looking for a phone camera gimbal where you want to get more steady footage with your phone and you don't want to break the bank, I don't think there's a better option on the market than the DJI Osmo Mobile 3. If you compare the specs with all the other gimbals currently available on the market, you can't get what this gimbal delivers for such a cheap price. This was only $120, and this is just the mobile pack. This isn't the there's another upgrade pack that you can get with this. It comes with a tripod and a case, and I've heard that the case isn't really as protective as say the Mavic case, and so you end up just get with it just kind of rattling around the case, and the tripod isn't really that great quality. So I just kind of skipped that. I know it was only $20 more to get that over this, but I didn't want to spend money on stuff that wouldn't be quality or something I'd never use, so I skipped that entirely. Taking a look around the box, you got some information that if you want to pause the video you can read there, and then just lots of stuff around about the UPC serial numbers, things like that. What's included with this one is actually the mobile itself, the power cable to charge it, storage pouch, and a little wrist strap so you don't accidentally drop it. So one of the features that people might not like about this gimbal is the batteries integrated into the handle. Personally, I don't really care. It has about a 15-hour battery life, and so that's pretty much filming all day. You're not really going to need more than 15 hours in one day, I imagine. And it being in the battery the battery being in the handle isn't that big a deal that you can't remove it, because you won't really need to swap out the battery with that long of a battery life. But without further ado, let's get this opened up so you can see what's inside. Alright, right off the bat, this is really spongy. You can tell that it feels really well protective. And honestly, the first thing I noticed is this thing is kind of heavy. I was not expecting that. This is actually I was expecting it to be a lot more lighter and plasticky, but this actually feels very quality. You just flip it up there. That's the whole premise of the gimbal. And then it just feels really smooth here. I can grab my phone so we can balance it really quickly. And balancing should be pretty easy. The way this gimbal is designed, it shouldn't take that much effort. You want your phone to slip into it like this. So, ignore the crack on my screen. There was a misfortunate accident, and that is the reason that is there. So, if you want to leave an F in the comments section for me, feel free to do so. Looks like it just expands and tension grips your phone, and then almost looks right here there's a jack of some sort, or threading. It almost looks more like threading. I'm not sure what that could be. Alright, so we got it in right there. And how does this orient? Looks like it orients like that. Okay. So the benefit to this is, as you can see, it's moving all around here and it's not hitting anywhere. So you can get a lot of different types of shots with this gimbal, and you won't really have it knocking anything. That's really, really smooth here. Hopefully it came with some battery life so I can demonstrate it right now, what it kind of looks like. I'm going to set it aside for just a second though and see what the rest is we have in the box. Shouldn't be too much. So it looks like the accessories I mentioned before. Some quick documentation I can go over. It looks like quick start guide, disclaimer and safety guidelines, blah blah. Throw that back in the box. Don't need that. Then we got the cable right here. Looks like a USB-C cable, which is welcome. I have lots of USB-C accessories and devices, so this is another USB-C cable for the collection, and better to keep everything in the same ecosystem. Got a little wrist strap here, so you can, kind of like a Wii remote, you can just clip it down to your wrist and make sure you don't throw the gimbal into the ocean when you're filming on the boat. This looks like the cloth bag that it comes with, and this was another reason why I didn't want to get the extra bundle. Was this comes with the gimbal, whether you get the more expensive bundle or just the standard bundle. So I'm probably just going to keep in this. I don't really need the case that's loosely fit. And then right here, it looks like we have, these are anti-slip pads, so if your phone's like really heavy, you can put this on the gimbal to keep it from slipping around. I don't think mine should have that problem. It feels like it's gripping it pretty tight, so I think we should be good to go. But let's just turn it on here really quickly and see what we got. There's a threading on the bottom here, so that's where the tripod would mount to. Or if you have a tripod of your own, you can do that. It looks like the wrist strap goes in here, charging here. Well, I wonder if that's to charge your phone. That's probably to charge your phone while you use it, I'm guessing. So this thing can work like a battery pack to keep your phone charged so it doesn't run out of battery while you're filming with it. But yeah, it's pretty neat. Feels very nice. Alright, now we're on to the review portion of this video. And we're going to demo, first starting from the collapsed version of the gimbal. So what you do is you unfold it right here. And then you want the DJI logo facing up, just like this. So you can check the status of the battery by pressing the power button once here. As you can see, mine is at 3 bars. And each bar equates to roughly 20 to 30% battery. So what you're going to want to do first is take your phone and you want to kind of just spread the little grabbers there. And if you look at the back here, you can see it's kind of off center. What you want to do there is center it so that your phone is dead center of this lateral part. And then you're going to scoot your phone over to the left or right to balance it vertically. So once you have it so that no matter what way you orient your phone, it doesn't want to fall, then you know you have it balanced. So then once you have that balanced there, what you're going to want to do for the first setup, or first time setup, is log on to your phone. You're going to want to go to the DJI Mimo app. So within the Mimo app here, you're going to have the option to hit the camera here for the first time setup, and then once you power on the device, for the first time it actually won't be active. You'll need to set it up with a Mimo app first, so you will need a smartphone that has the Mimo app installed in order to do the first time setup of this gimbal. But once it's set up for the first time, it's good to go with whatever phone you use. Whenever you can really use any device with it after the first time setup. It's just in order to get the gimbal working, you need the Mimo app downloaded. So you'll go through a pretty straightforward setup process. You just click next, connect Bluetooth, and it's relatively quick pairing process. It's about 1 minute to 5 minutes, probably total time to get that connected and working. And then once you have it ready, it'll be ready to go no matter when you start up the device with whatever phone. So then the actual process of starting up the device, you want to hit the M/power button here, and then you want to hit it again and hold it. You hear the ding noise, and you know that you calibrated it correctly if the gimbal begins working immediately. So, as you can see, the gimbal is working for me here. We got here on the screen the just the DJI Mimo start page, and as you can see on the gimbal handle, you have 3 white lights that indicate the battery, and then a color LED here, and then the yellow LED means that it's not connected to the app, but the gimbal is still functional. And when you connect it to the app, that yellow LED will actually turn green. So the actual process of connecting it to the app, you're going to want to hit the camera button here. And then, assuming you've already connected it before, you should be able to connect it really quickly. It'll search for it, and then, as you can see, that light there turned green. Now it is connected, so the gimbal knows the camera is connected. Now you have full control of your camera with the gimbal. So really quickly I can go over some of the functions that you are able to do with this gimbal. So you have the thumbstick in the middle, and the thumbstick can move the camera pretty much in any direction on the plane normal to, or not normal, but parallel to the front of the gimbal. So you can rotate it like this, and you can change the pitch like this. And the rotate is a little bit more clearer if the handle is underneath the gimbal. It kind of wasn't translating that well when I had it like this, but it actually rotates the gimbal on the yaw axis if you're holding the handle, and then the up and down changes the pitch. And then you can also do any kind of angle combinations because the thumbstick is 360 degrees in any direction, so it doesn't have to be just straight in one direction. So there's actually a trigger on the back here, and the trigger can do many different things. If you double press the trigger, it'll recenter the gimbal, like that. So now the gimbal is centered in relation to the handle. If you actually hold the trigger, it'll engage a subject lock mode, which means whatever the camera is facing, it'll stay tracking that direction. So if you can see, this is without that lock on. I'm not holding the trigger. The gimbal kind of just moves wherever the handle's going. So it's not really good if you want to like keep your track lock on a subject. So you can actually, if I do this, I can point it at, say, this pair of headphones here, and if I hold the trigger, it'll now stay locked on that pair of headphones as best as it can, given the circumstances. So no matter like how I rotate the gimbal there, it wants to stay on that pair of headphones there. You can see if I let go of the trigger, it'll engage the just normal smooth camera mode, where it won't have any subject lock. It'll kind of just try and stay centered in relation to the gimbal rather than in relation to a subject. So next up we have the actual zoom wheel here, or not wheel, but toggle. And so if you move it up, it'll actually zoom the camera in, as you can see. So if you move the zoom wheel up, it'll engage a longer zoom, and if you move it down, it'll zoom back out. And then it has 3 different steps, at least for my phone. So if I just hit it once instead of holding it, it'll actually jump to the next step. And then it also has an extended up to 8 times zoom here, and you can also jump to steps with that too. This doesn't look as good when you're filming. It looks a lot better to have like a natural progression zoom if you're using zoom for a shot, because otherwise if you jump like this, it makes the video very choppy. I do have like a demo shot of that later that kind of demonstrates what I mean by that. And then if you look at the back here, you'll find the trigger. I already went over the zoom and the thumbstick, so now we have these 2 buttons here. So this is the record button or photo button. So depending on what mode you have selected here with the camera on your phone, it will either start recording because it's in video mode, or it will take a picture if it's in photo mode. Whichever mode you're in will be what this button is mapped to. And then this is the mode button, so if you actually press that, it'll change on your phone. It will change it from video to photo mode or vice versa. And then if you press and hold that, it will turn off the gimbal because it's also the power button. And if you actually double press it, it will cause your phone to change its orientation from portrait and landscape. And then one more feature that this gimbal has is if you triple tap the trigger, it'll actually switch the view. And so now this is switched to the front camera. And if I triple tap it again, it will switch back to the back camera. I'm gonna change it back to video here. So that's pretty much all the features on the gimbal. One more thing that's a cool honorable mention here is the USB slot here. So this is actually, so the device acts as a charging bank for your phone. So if you're doing a long shoot, you could try to plug in the cable here and kind of just charge it while you film. But as you can see, it's kind of finicky, and getting it to not run into the gimbal, the cable I mean, is going to be kind of tricky. So I think it makes way more sense to just charge up your device when it's not on the gimbal using this, if you don't have access to another power outlet, just to make sure your device is like enough charged so that when you're filming you don't run out of battery. And then beyond that, there's just the charge slot for the gimbal, and that's about all the features on the gimbal itself. So I will actually be showing off some test footage I've taken with this now. Alright, now we're on to the part where I run around my house with the gimbal to test it. So actually in this shot, I'm literally just running around to demonstrate the fact that it keeps everything really smooth while you're moving really quickly. And then as you can see here, we got some nice smooth pans of the, just around my desk. you might have noticed all the footage here is in 4K. It should look substantially better, but the exported video is going to be in 1080p. One thing I could not figure out is DJI has story mode, which you're about to see here, and the story modes, for whatever reason, compress the video and make it look substantially worse. So I don't know why that is. They say that they're filmed at 1080p when I look at the file properties, and the normal footage is filmed at 4K. So I don't know, for whatever reason, why the stories mode degrades the video quality so drastically, but as you can see, it does. I could not figure out how to get these words, like enjoyment and elation. I couldn't figure out how to get those out of the video for whatever reason. Like, I'm not really a big fan of the stories mode. I like the shot combinations that you can do for like the stories and how easy those are to get, but like, I don't know why there's so many features that you can't change. It kind of just feels like you have to follow their templates. So I'd much rather just, make the shots myself. Have to go through the trouble of, fixing theirs to work with my video. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to do a couple more different kinds of shots, and so you can just, look at what I've done with the gimbal and see what you could do for yourself. It's very, very cool device to have. For only $100, I'd say I'd recommend it for anybody's gear bag, for anybody who likes video, vloggers, people who want to spice up your Instagram and Snapchat stories, people who want to film on the go and not have to have tons of expensive equipment. All you need is your phone and the gimbal. It's really simple to use, and I do highly recommend it. But thank you all for watching. That's about it. So I will see you all in my next video. Bye.